So first off, you want a good loadout, and this loadout needs to consist of an LMG, a foregrip, a red dot, body armor, and some form of utility. That can vary up to how you want to play, but that will get you started in most situations. Be mindful not to shoot in spawn. Shooting in spawn gives away your position and can allow the enemy team to outflank you and then punish you. The golden rule for LMG players is pre-firing. Pre-firing allows for you to start shooting before you actually see a target. A firefight is like a conversation, and you have the most words to say. LMG players need to be shooting or reloading. If you want to be more selective with your shots, you should probably pick a rifleman or a marksman loadout next time. Now this isn't just random spraying. You need to focus your fire on key areas that enemies will most likely travel. This gets more difficult as the match progresses. Reason for that is enemy players and teammates spread out through the map. One way to alleviate this is by checking your tablet. This allows for you to take a snapshot of the battle, have a rough understanding of where your friendlies are at, and allow you to see how the balance of the fight is progressing. This can help you determine whether you should be more aggressive or more conservative in your play. A good rule is if you do not see a teammate, assume an enemy could be in that location. This is very important, as in the later stages of the game, the possibility of being flanked is very high. And lastly, I want to close this round out by saying, do not be afraid to go for the uplink. As LMG players, we're very used to just shooting, mowing down, and holding lanes. But if the opportunity presents itself, don't be afraid to go for that cap and secure the objective. In this round, we switched sides, which means we switched loadouts. I highly recommend that you create a loadout that offers similar mechanical and functional properties to that of your former loadout. For example, here I have a PKM with red dot foregrip, body armor, and smoke. This allows for me to have a similar playstyle throughout rounds regardless of which side I'm fighting on. Next, I want to talk about positioning and your teammates. Notice that I again have two teammates that position themselves with me. Because of that, our defense is lacking in the middle, and I choose to position myself in a more viable spot. This position leads to a defensive aggression. Defensive aggression can be a dangerous tool to wield because it can leave your objective open. I come into contact with someone on the left side, and I use suppressive firing to gain control of that firefight. Once the action stops, I'm able to then rotate and move around his position. While flanking, you want to be careful that you don't get flanked yourself. You want to check your corners and look both ways before crossing the street. This is one of the rare occurrences when I would recommend to stop firing as an LMG player if you're trying to maneuver around an enemy target. Next, you want to make sure that you have a confirmed kill. When I turn the corner, I notice that there's no body or gear laying on the ground, which means he's moved on. That leaves a hole in our back and a hole to the objective. I need to take a dedicated and quick path to try to cut him off from capping. When I finally make contact, he ducks behind a box. From here, I want to use suppressive fire to keep him there, or he pokes his head out and gets shot. In the final round, we'll try to put it all together. We hit the point where we want to start pre-firing the corner and walking our shots in to where enemy positions might be. We can have good suppression fire. We check, we move up, and continue the same process. Even when we return fire after being engaged, and we want to check again just to make sure we're not team killing. Because we check the tablet, we know the team size is adequate and we're able to continue the push. One thing that I notice here is that I'm on the edge, therefore I want to wrap around. I don't want to cut the corner and possibly be shot in the back. We see two enemy targets. We start engaging, one gets dropped, and one crouches. I put a lull in the fire to draw him out, then I'm able to engage. My last bit of advice is to practice your reloads and don't have tunnel vision.